Before planting anything in your yard, it's important to prepare your soil for your garden beds.
So joining us now is the master gardener himself, the green thumb guru, Ed Sourdiffe. Happy Wednesday.
Welcome back, Ed.
So it's that time of year. We need to prepare our soil, but how do you do it?
Well, first you wait for the snow to melt.
Yeah. Well, this is probably today's snow. I can only imagine has messed a lot of people up. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, but the plants that come up like the daffodils and things like that, they can handle it, and that spinach will probably be all right too.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
Hey Kyle, your spinach will be fine. Don't worry.
But you don't want anything like your summer geraniums out there right now or anything. But soil, it's lucky I went out last night and dug up the soil before this morning because I wouldn't be able to dig it up.
That's true.
And that's what we're talking about. And basically soil is everything that's on the top of the earth that is made of organics, clay, sand, broken down rocks, and that's soil. If you went out earlier in the season and you actually dug up your soil to till your land while it was still wet, that would be a bad thing to do. You don't want to till or cultivate the soil too early because you'll compact it and you'll turn kind of like a mud. So you don't want to get out there too early and do that.
So maybe once you've had a good stretch of dry weather, that's the time to do it.
And that's why you don't see any farmers out tilling their fields right now. Even though we had those 70-degree days, they just weren't out doing it. So. But what you really want to do when you look at soil, you can see if your soil is a good soil or bad soil. A lot of organics and it makes it a good soil. The sand part, the clay part would make it a bad soil. There's a way to tell about that. There's just soil in here. If you want to put that in my hand.
Sure.
There you go. Now you can do a quick and easy test by just clumping it together and see how it's holding together. That's a good sign, but it also breaks apart really easy. So this is a really good soil. There's a lot of organics in it. If I tried to put it together and it just crumbled, it'd be really a sandy soil, which is not good. If I held it together and squished it and it would stay together like a ball forever, then that would be a clay-y soil, and that would be bad too.
So you want a happy medium.
Yeah, you do. And there's another way of testing. We can try that here. If you take a jar, and then you just pour in some soil, like this, maybe a quarter full, and then you actually fill it with water. This is going to take a bit because it's a small,
Small bit.
spout.
You fill
That's all right. We have nothing but time today.
Fill the whole jar with
Yeah,
water?
I would fill the whole jar with water, and then,
And we shake it up. Is that right?
yeah, if you want to just tighten it up.
Like we're making a mud cocktail.
Yeah, and just shake it up really, really good, really, really hard.
I know. Be scared.
I am.
Yeah.
I hope
And then
screw
you're
that on
gonna,
tight.
once it's all shaken up really well, you're gonna leave it like that with the top on.
With the top on.
And then just wait till it all settles out. And what's going to happen is it's going to settle out. The sand's the heaviest. It will go to the bottom. The middle will be silty. Any organics will kind of float at the top. And the very top layer will be the clay that dissolved and redistributed. So you'll be able to see if you have a really big sand layer, a big clay layer, that you have to amend that. And get rid of that.
Interesting. So what if you do have really sandy soil or really clay-like soil? How do you remedy it?
Yeah, it's all organics that will actually, organic compost, leaf mold, peat moss, or then I brought this on the show before. This is that coconut coir made out of a coconut husk.
Oh, and that's the one that starts off as a very tight block, right?
Yeah, a really big brick. You add the moisture, which I already did, and it breaks apart into this. And then it'll actually make the sand hold more water, so it won't just trickle through like if you're at the beach and you make a moat around your castle and you bring your buckets of water from the ocean in to fill the moat.
All the time, every time I go to the beach.
And it never fills.
Yeah.
It just
Never
trickles
works.
away. So the peat moss or the compost or this will actually make, compost actually will make the sand hold 10 times the water and nutrients. So that's a really good thing to do.
Wow.
So you can have a mediocre soil. If you add something like this to it, it can turn bad soil into good or manageable soil.
Yes, you always want to keep adding organics to it. And the more organics you add to your soil, the stronger your plants will be, because that's what they really feed on. Then you need less pesticides, less fungicides, and you don't have to water as often. So it makes your life easier. So you just add that, and you don't have to buy all these extra products.
So Ed, I recently bought a house. I'm going to start a garden, as I think I tell a lot of people out there, way too much, but I've never tested my soil. So it's important that you say in the Western Mass Gardeners Association, test soil. What do you look for? What do you need to do?
Well, you want to go into your yard. Now, if you're testing the soil for your lawn, you'll dig down 3 to 4 inches where the roots would normally be, and that's the soil you'll test. And you'll take different samples from different parts of your lawn. If you're doing it for where you're growing plants, it's like 8 to 9 inches where the root zone is there, and that's where you'll dig down and get the soil. You can either send the soil sample to the Western Mass Master Gardeners or to UMass's testing lab, and I believe we have the website. You know, it's on your website where the addresses are. And then it'll come back and they'll tell you your nitrogen, your phosphorus, and your potassium, how that is. You can even go as far to tell you if you have a sandy soil, a loomy soil. So they can tell you a lot.
And you can go forward buying products to augment the soil to make it what you need it to be.
Yes, because if it's too acid or it's not enough acid, it just the plants can't absorb the nutrients they need.
Can the acidity of the soil also affect the colors of your flowers?
Yes, like hydrangeas, you can change the colors usually.
No way.
Yep, yep.
So you can kind of modify hydrangeas to make them whatever color you
Yeah,
want?
if you do more of an acidic soil, they turn blue, and a more of a base soil, like with lime, they turn
How cool
pink.
is that? Nice. Ed, thank you so much for these tips.
So cool.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. I always learn something.
Maybe
when this
one
guy
day
stops
we'll
by.
be green thumb gurus too.
My thumb's, yeah,
You're
it's
well
not
on the way.
green yet.
I don't
Maybe
know
one
about
day.
that.
Hey,